Welcome back. It is me, Chavez. I am back. We are back with another NBA Prize Picks player prop live stream for you. Today is Thursday, January 18th, 2023. As always, I hope this content is finding you doing well and in good spirits. Hope everybody had a good night last night. I hope you're having a good morning. All the salutations, all the different types of greetings, throwing them out there. What's going on, Divine? Good morning to you. Meech. What's going on, man? Darrell, what's going on, my man? Good morning. Welcome in. All right, Meech. I'm moving. All right. Toy Story Andy, good morning to you. Good morning to you. All right, it got me going. All right, man. Listen, we're going to do a few things in today's video, today's stream. We got two player props. If you watched my earlier video, you already know what those are. If you haven't caught that, don't worry. We'll go over them in today's stream, and then we'll recap one play from yesterday because we got the cancellation. Sad day in the NBA for the Golden State Warriors. That's super unfortunate to hear the passing of the assistant coach out there. So pretty good reason to cancel the game. But that game was canceled, so no Colin Sexton prop, no props from the Jazz or Warriors. So that's rough. That's a rough one right there. I'm sure they're taking it pretty hard in Golden State. But we did have the Anthony Simons play on the board still. What I did is I went ahead and just got that refunded, and I put that towards another slip. And I'll go ahead and recap a couple power plays that I played yesterday with you all. And then we'll get right into it. We're going to get right into the Q&A and make this a very productive and fun live stream. So, Lil Bud, what's going on? Good morning to you. Big Icy, good morning. Grand Rising. Oh, I like that. Is that your way of saying good morning, good day? I like that. That's nice. It also sounds like a good name for a racehorse. All right. Let's do it. We're not going to waste too much time here. Let's get right to it. Got Shea Gilgeous on the thumbnail. I guess the good news is we don't have a taco to play for him. So, he can't F us up on that one. So yesterday we talked about Colin Sexton over 4.5 assists. I think this one is on the board for today's game, but I won't be talking about it for an official play today. I just saw it on the board and I thought about going right back to it. Wasn't getting the same odds, wasn't getting the same movement that I saw yesterday. So we never know. We'll never know how that one turned out. He never played. Anthony Simons was still on the board. This one got bumped to 9, and then that made me feel really good. And then it got bumped back down to 8.5, and he hooked it at 8. So that play would not have that 2-pick power would not have resulted in any wins for us because Anthony Simons didn't hit. So maybe a good thing it got canceled. There are a lot of bodies in Portland. You know, what Brogdon back, and you got I know Shaden Sharp was out, and that really does help guys when you got one less person out there, but you still got a lot of bodies out there. So he ended up hooking, scored 20 points. A lot of people were on his points and assists. I think those were at 29.5, 30. He finished with 24. Looks like he went under in a lot of his props. So Anthony Simons just isn't getting that usage that we were seeing a couple of years ago when Dame was out and kind of took it over. Too many bodies in the backcourt for sure. These are a couple plays, power plays that I had going on yesterday. I mean, nothing to brag about, to be honest. You know, I went a little heavier yesterday. We talked about Fred VanVleet. I don't know who it was in the chat. We talked about Fred VanVleet. Talked about how this dude is too good to just score 8 points, 5 points. He destroys the Knicks at home. Doing that research to put this in the Discord, averaging almost 30 points per game in Madison Square Garden. Now, all those were as a Raptor. Coming off one day's rest, he's also got some nice numbers there. Take that for what it is. Scoring 3 more points coming off one day rest. He did his job yesterday. Herb Jones hooked it. Why did I go with Herb Jones points and assists? In hindsight, I should have went with just his points and I would have got the over. But his points and assists were looking really good too. I thought he'd get us at least 10 points yesterday and 1 assist, and he almost did that. So that one stung a little bit, but took the under on Donovan Mitchell and took the under on Sengun's PRA, and that worked out. So that helped make up for the loss. It is a little shitty. Could have been up 6x on these 2 slips, but I'll take the profit. We're talking about building bankroll. Take the profit where you can get it and move forward. So that's what I played yesterday. I put that power play in the Discord as well, wrote it up. Just wish Herb Jones would have hit. That'd have been super nice. That'd have been super nice. I would have done the whole stream in my Lucha Libre mask back there that you see. It's going to take a really special night. I got to go undefeated in my picks and win quite a bit of money for me to do a full stream in that mask. It is hot. That mask is super hot. Hard to talk through. Also, I don't know how those guys wrestle in that shit. All right, let's talk about some injury news in the NBA. Pretty short report right now. We got half of the damn Pacers team on this list. This game between the Pacers and the Kings should be fun if everyone's healthy. I think the matchup between Halliburton and Fox, I mean, that just sounds fun. And don't forget that Halliburton started his career in Sacramento. So you got Sabonis coming back to Indiana. You got a lot of narratives in this game. So I hope this game is a game where everyone is healthy, because that's going to be a very fun game. After yesterday's blowouts, man, so many blowouts in the association yesterday. We need some competitive, up-tempo, high-scoring, fun-ass overtime games today. Daniel Gafford's out. Bruce Brown is out. Desmond Bane is out. So there's your injury news. Very, very short, to the point with the injury news. Not a whole lot going on here. Plays for today. I'm just going to cover these. I already broke them down in the earlier video. But the 2 plays that we covered, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, liking the over, 2.5 blocks and steals. And then liking the over on De'Aaron Fox, PRA, at 38.5. The thing about De'Aaron Fox, I mentioned this on a previous stream. He was in a nasty slump. He had like 6 games straight where he just wasn't hitting any shots. He was doing really bad. That game against Milwaukee, going into overtime, I mean, he crushes all his numbers. And we talked about how that could be the spark needed to light that fuse, right? And then he comes out the next game in the losing fashion. They lose to the Suns, but he hits all his numbers. He crushes his PRA in that game. So we might be seeing the start of a nice little run for De'Aaron Fox. The matchup doesn't get a whole lot better, more fun than his matchup with the Pacers. So I like this one for De'Aaron Fox. I broke it down in the video earlier. So those are my 2 plays for today. I put these in a 2-pick power. I only put $20 on this power play only because there are a lot of Q tags in Indiana. And in the event that we don't get a healthy squad, I don't know if this game stays competitive. So I just wanted to be a little smarter with the entry fee today. I can't put $100 on all my 2 picks every single day. At least not yet. Long-term goal, where the $100 becomes like the $10 that you play now. So bigger picture. But that's what I got going on for today with my plays. And I'm going to turn it over to y'all. That's all I got. The rest of the stream, we're talking your player props. I do want to do something at the end of the stream, though. So if you just want to like come back, if you're at work and you can't watch the whole stream, come back in an hour. I want to do a play of the day, and I just want to have y'all put in the chat at the very end of the stream, after we've covered all the player props, just put your play of the day, player prop, over or under. That's it. No reason, no nothing. Just that. And I want to look at all those, and then I want to kind of create like a like a cheat sheet almost. Put that in the Discord, and that way you can go back and look at that and say, oh, these are all the plays everybody was on after all the research was done. So thought we can use our research in a different way today, make it work for us a little bit more. So that's my idea. That's my idea. All right. We're going to head over to Prizepicks now. No partnership, no partnership info and presentations. All the information will always be in the description of every stream and every video I do. If you have any interest in signing up on Prizepicks, if you have yet to make an account, that information is in my stream description. Props.cash, sign up, 25% off your first month. That's there. Odd Shopper, sign up at Odd Shopper. We're going to take a few minutes and spin over on Odd Shopper today as well. So all my partnerships in the video description, in all the stream descriptions. So got the board pulled up for today over on Prizepicks. And let's see what we got going on here. I'm just going to scroll back up. Big Jim, the judge, what's going on? Good morning to you. Love reading these chats. Cassio, what's the vibes? Good vibes, man. Good vibes always. Always. Lil Bug, good morning. Hurry your ass up. All right, let's get into some plays. We got Colin Sexton. This is the first one I'm seeing from Big Icy. I'm just gonna scroll. Actually, I got Divine. Divine wants to bring up Cat Williams points. I actually typed Cat in there. Cat Williams. Carl Anthony Towns. 21.5 points. We got Big Icy asking about Colin Sexton first half PRA. That's I wasn't even looking at first half props yet, so this will be the first time that I take a gander at what's going on over there. 13.5. All right. Divine, you called Fred? You're on fire, man. You're on fire. You called Trae Young and you called Fred VanVleet? Did you call him for 20? What'd you call him for? Yeah, that was just a scary spot though, right? You got the Rockets on the road coming off a bad loss to the 76ers. Tough East Coast road trip. You got all these reasons to take the under. His game logs weren't looking all that good, but I guess if you just do a little bit more research, you saw some silver linings in there. Fred VanVleet was kind of like I called it the vomit play. Make you throw up in your mouth a little bit, but it worked out. Hey Seuss, what's going on, man? He says Colin Sexton first half PRA is a wagon. All right, we got wagon plays. Maybe we'll do a segment called Wagon Play. But we'll do play of the day today. So again, at the end of the stream, all I want to know is your play of the day. I don't want to know reasons or nothing. Just play of the day, player name, player prop, boom. Let's see what y'all got. Is Pascal playing today? I don't know. He wasn't on the injury report. Bruce Brown was. But Bruce Brown doesn't play for the Pacers anymore. I mean, don't they have to pass a physical and all that? I guess it just depends on how quickly all that stuff gets processed. I mean, it's the NBA. I would think they would just be like, yeah, you're good. You played the other day. You're good. But I don't think it's that easy. We got Fox PA from another one from Divine. I think Fox is going to be a very popular play today. All his shit got bumped. Look, his PRA already got bumped. His points were at 28.5. That got bumped. His assists are still there. Not getting as good odds as the other game against the Suns. PA set to 34.5. Very well. Yeah, Cutler Stark. What's going on, man? Good morning. Scotty Barnes, 3-pointers, 1.5. Yes. That one I do like. That one I did know of, I should say. I was looking at that late last night, early this morning. That one is one that I often go to. Doesn't always hit, but he's always in a good spot to hit, if that makes any sense. All right, let's see what else. Big Icy said he already locked in Scotty Barnes 3-pointers earlier. Yeah, you got to be fast with these plays sometimes. Let's see. Sabonis under RA is cash. Cash me out. What's going on? Good morning. Welcome in. Cash me out says Sabonis under. Is it still at 22? It's at 22. It was at 22. This shit has been moving. It opened at 21.5. It got bumped up to 22.5. It got bumped back down to 21.5. And now it's at 22. So there has been a ton of movement on Sabonis. Y'all answer me this question. If Pascal plays today, does that make it tougher on Sabonis to get the over on his RA? Or does it matter? Does it even matter? Because I mean, obviously Pascal in that lineup is a huge improvement. It's going to make that lineup a lot stronger. Let's see. Play of the day. Matthew already getting his play of the day in. Giddy over PRA 20.5. I don't know if y'all saw that tweet, or I mean it's probably everywhere now, but like the case is over. There is no more case on Giddy. They couldn't find any further evidence that, you know, proved he did anything wrong, so they're just dropping the fucking case. So that should rile people up a little bit. Here come the boos. You thought he was getting booed now. Wait till later tonight. All right, so we got Sabonis in there. We'll take a look at that one. Every time I pick the under on Sabonis' RA, he goes over. That's it's tough. Might matter. Hell yeah. Okay. Just curious because, you know, Pascal in there. I mean, they traded for him for a reason. All right. Cash Me Out says it doesn't matter. It's too high. Put in 350 just on that play. All right. Playing with some conviction. All right. Hey man, 350 on the play. You got to be very, very locked into that play for sure. All right, let's get Giddy in there. 20. What was it? 20 PA, 20.5 PRA. And then we'll take these over to props.cash and start breaking them down. All right. So this is what we got so far. We got Cat points, Sexton PRA, De'Aaron Fox PA, Scotty Barnes threes, Sabonis. We already know we like the under on that one. And then we'll take a look at the under on that one. And then Giddy over. Barnes over. Was it Fox over? I'm assuming the rest of these are over. All right. We are heading over to props.cash. All right. Let me just refresh this page, ensure that we got all the players up because sometimes it lags. If you're just joining in, hit that like button on your way in. Welcome in. Have a seat. Kick your feet up. Throw a prop in the chat. Hopefully I can get to it. Hopefully I can answer your question. Hopefully by the end of this stream, you've picked up additional plays to add to your plays and got enough information to make a couple of slips. All right. So let's start with that Scotty Barnes play. We're just going to go in this order. Pull up his 3-pointers made. It's still on the board. So it was on the board late last night. And then sometimes these plays, they don't last the morning. They get pulled off the board, especially if they're getting a lot of play. So Scotty Barnes right now sitting at -128. Really quickly, I want to show you this really quickly. Over on the Odd Shopper site, this is a free tool. So if you ever wonder what these odds really mean, like what the hell is -128, we can convert these odds to percentages. So these odds equal a percent to go over, a percent to go under. So -128. If I share this with you over here, this is the Odd Shopper free betting calculator. So when we enter -128, these are your American odds. And the implied odds for this is 56.14. So to whatever side. So if this was -128 to the under, this would be 56% chance to actually hit the under. But since we're looking at the over, this -128 is showing you that this has a 56% chance to go over. So that is why I pay attention to the odds, because once you start converting these odds into percentages, it make a little bit more sense. And then you'll really understand, like, oh man, that one doesn't really have a whole lot of juice to the over. And then when you convert it, it's like a 50% chance to hit or a 48% chance to hit. And those are kind of the plays you probably want to stay away from. But in this case, Scotty Barnes is grading out very well. That is what -128 means. So -128, 56% chance to go over, which is pretty strong. And give or take, I mean, if you feel like that's too high, then maybe your calculations have it at 54%. It's still pretty damn high. Gone over this in 4 out of his last 10 games. He's gone over this in 2 out of his last 5. He's averaging 1.5 and 1.4 in that time frame. He is projected for 1.78 3-pointers made today. So that is higher than 1.5. So that is also a positive. I got that damn protein shake coming up. Want to take a look at what small forwards have shot, how they have shot against the Chicago Toros. You had Karis LeVert light him up for 4. You had George Niang light him up for 3. This is all in the same game. Isaac Okoro with 1. You had Jetty Osman over with 3. 4 for Keldon Johnson. It looks like teams double up, triple up on the Bulls. It's not just one dude going over props. It's a whole damn position, man. Cam Whitmore goes over, Bridges, again, Martin. So, yeah, you're seeing some ones in there. You're seeing some duds in there, but you're also seeing a lot of green check marks, which shows you that there is production to be had against this team. Also, Bulls almost dead last in terms of 3-pointers allowed and made per game. Percentages a little high, but not the highest in the league, but worth noting. So Scotty Barnes is in a good spot. We're getting good odds. We're getting a good matchup from him head to head. If you want to take a look at that, one game this season to speak of, back in November, he did go over with 2. So Scotty Barnes looks like a really good play at 1.5 3-pointers made. All right. What are we going to go next? Let's do these in the order in which I saw them in the chat. We got Karl Anthony Towns, points. All right, so this one's a little bit of a coin flip. -111, -115. I'm only going to do this for a couple of plays just to give you like the visual. It'll just take up too much time. But this is available to you on the Odd Shopper site. Free tool, free betting odds calculator. So -111 to the over. So 53% chance to go over. And what was it? -115 to the under. -115 to the under is 53. So that's why I say it's a coin flip. It's like so close to either side. Pick a side. The books don't really have a take on it. The public doesn't know what to do with it. So it's a little bit of a coin flip. Looking at his games against Memphis, he does have one game going over, 2 games going under. Both of these games are from this season. Averaging 18 against the Grizzlies. Wow, his last 10 games look phenomenal. 80% hit rate. He's averaging 23 points in those games, 24 over his last 5. So 80% hit rate over the last 5 and 10 games. We already know Memphis's defense is suspect, and they are just down to very, very few bodies. I mean, literally their original starting 5 are all out. All the 5 that were going to start, that should have started the season, are on the injury report, IR, whatever you want to call it. He is only projected for 21 points today. So projections are pretty close to the line of 22 that he needs. You are getting a coin flip with the odds here. It's not like these odds are terrible. It's not like you're getting a lot of information that says take the under. It's just not a convincing over, if that makes sense. So Karl Anthony Towns, you can take it either way. You can also factor in if there's going to be a blowout. Wolves are coming off a back-to-back. In the game they just let the Detroit Pistons hang around a little too long in that game. They won, but it should have been a lot worse than what we saw. So they get another game against a matchup they should really, really destroy. They may let the Wolves, if they let the Grizzly hang around a lot in this game, then we could see Karl Anthony Towns crush his line because he's on the floor a little bit more. Or we could see a result like we saw in Milwaukee where they just get the shit kicked out of them and Donovan Mitchell sits the entire fourth quarter. So you have those two situations that are totally in play. But there's Karl Anthony Towns points right there. So let's take a look at Giddey, PRA, and then let's take a look at Sexton first half PRA. These two plays are in the same game. We're going to head over to the OKC side. We're going to pull up Colin Sexton's lines for the first half over his last 5 games. Now, his line is set to 13.5 over on Prizepicks. So let's get that up on the screen, and you can see that he has an 80% hit rate over his last 5 games. And he has a 60% hit rate over his last 10. OKC defense is good, not great. They're fine. League average in points allowed, basically league average in assists allowed, a little worse than the league average, bottom of the league in rebounds allowed per game. So they are giving up quite a few boards. We got Colin Sexton's projections here. Now, we don't know what his first half PRA projection is. That's not published on the Props.cash site, but we do know what his full game PRA is here. So if you want to do the old divide it by 2 and then see if it goes over, I can already tell you that it doesn't, just because, well, he might. If you round this up to 26, he needs 14. It doesn't always go like that. You can't always look at a player's PRA and say, oh, divided by 2. That's not how they're always created. And we don't know the game flow. Shit changes in the quarter. You never know. So I guess instead of doing that, we got to look at the game logs. We got to look at the matchup. And we got to look at his usage rate in the first half. Like, how many minutes is he playing? How many shots is he getting up? All that shit matters. He's giving you 13 minutes in the first half over his last 5 games, over his last 10. In the second half, his minutes drop. So that's worth noting. He's getting more usage in the first half. He's getting more minutes in the first half. So is he scoring more in the first half? You could equate it to that. He's taking... he's making 4 shots. He's taking 8 shots. So he's a 50% shooter in the first half as well. Compare that to his second half. He's only putting up 5 shots and he's hitting 3. So the percentage is still very high, but the volume is a little low. So it does look like his usage, his role, it does take a little bit of a hit in the second half just based off what we're seeing here. So I guess if there was a half that you were going to bet on, it'd probably be his first half, a little front heavy. So it's possible for him to go out and get you 14 PRA and get you 10 PRA in the second half or 12. So I like this play for Colin Sexton. I'm a little biased because he's every time I pick him, I'm on the right side of his props, so I feel good about picking his plays. He's built that rapport up with me, so I feel good about picking his plays. So I think his first half PRA is definitely in play today. Let's flip it over to Josh Giddey, 20.5 PRA. So we're looking at minus 128 on the over on this one. So we already know based off what Scotty Barnes had, that's high 50s in terms of hit rate. So the books really like the over on his PRA at 20.5. This feels a little low to me. We can thank the fact that he has gone back-to-back games and not even touching 20. We love when we see this because this will bring a player prop down, and then we can attack the over for a couple games until they get juiced back up. And it's just rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. So with Josh Giddey, you do have a pretty strong hit rate despite what he's done over his last 5 games. He has gone over in 60% of his last 10. The matchup is very good with Utah. Bottom of the league in points allowed, assists allowed, 3-pointers made. 3-point percentage is a little worse than league average. Taking a look at his projections, you can see his projected for 23.17 PRA. So all his projections are grading out really well except his assist. But overall, this looks like a pretty solid play for Josh Giddey. Getting good odds, good matchup, good projections. So nothing wrong with that Josh Giddey play at all. We got 2 more. We got the Kings and Pacers to look at here. So Cash Me Out is super convinced. Damn, y'all hear that? I got the landscapers outside the window. They might as well be in my living room. Maybe I can just hear it. Maybe you can. If you can't hear it, it's all good. Forget I said it. Rebounds and assists. Okay, so minus 118 and minus 108. Minus 118 to the over, 54% chance on the over, 52 on the under. So a bit of a coin flip here with his odds. You're not really getting a whole lot of juice. It is important to know the percentage also because sometimes these odds can make you feel like it's a better play than it is. If you do the conversion and you say, oh, that's only a 51% chance to hit. Oh, I didn't know that. It's just going to make you better in terms of selecting your player props. I promise you, learning the conversion will make it much easier for you. But Sabonis' line has been bumped up to 22. So these don't even freaking matter. So this is going to be even more in favor. These might get flipped, basically, when we jump it up to 22. Back-to-back games of 23-plus RA. Milwaukee and Phoenix. But Sabonis is capable of going under. He's not a machine. He is not a machine. He's a man. He is a man. 17, 17, and 16 against New Orleans, Charlotte, and Philly. So, yeah, he's gone over more than he's gone under, but this is also a thing. 2 games last season against the Pacers, 22 and 17. I'm very sure that he went over his RA prop in this game. I don't believe it was 22 last year. It may have been like 18 or 19 or something like that. But based off today's numbers, this is not good enough for the over. The matchup is there. If Pascal is there, it's definitely a different matchup. But overall, on the season, Pacers are allowing the 12th fewest points in the league. Not a lot of assists either from those two areas. Matchup is there in pace, though. I mean, up and down tempo. You got teams shooting the ball, taking a lot of shots, missing a lot of shots, rebound opportunities are there. So keep that in mind. But the rankings are definitely in favor of the Pacers in this game. Looking at his projections for today, he is projected for 20. 19.68 is basically 20. So it is falling under the 22 or 22 and a half. If you got it at 22 and a half, he played the under on it. That's probably the best line you'll get all day. I cannot see that getting bumped up to 23. So 22 and a half was probably the highest it'll go. And I don't see it. It may get bumped down to 21 and a half just because it's 21 and a half on a couple of other books, but it shouldn't drop below 21 and a half. So yeah, Sabonis, want to ride the hot hand, you got the information there. If you're going to go the cash me out route, this is just a little too high. Play the numbers. You got the information to support that as well. Let's take a look at De'Aaron Fox. Wanted to take a look at his points and assists for De'Aaron Fox. One of the few props that has not been bumped up as of yet. Back-to-back games. Let's just look at his last 5. Because I believe he's starting a new little streak here. I think he is. We talked about it in Milwaukee. That got him going. He doubled down on that in Phoenix, and now he gets a good matchup in Indiana with the Pacers. Same exact lines here with his odds. So you got 52% on the under, 54% on the over. Pacers defense does give up a lot of points, but limiting assist. Another projections don't look all that great for De'Aaron Fox. We have seen projections be wrong. It's possible. Don't look at projections as a gospel. Look at them as a guide. Don't let them guide you in the wrong direction. If you're like, I don't believe those projections are correct. I don't like those. You're in control of that. But these are what they are. I will say that they don't really align well with what the odds are telling us. If you're getting slight juice to the over, we should be seeing higher projections. In situations like this, I always go with the odds and game logs because that gives me the clearest data. If you're interested in what other point guards have done versus the Pacers in terms of points and assists, Colin Sexton goes over. Jamal Murray goes over his line. You have Jordan Poole. Jordan Poole goes over his line. Jordan Poole goes over De'Aaron Fox's line today with that line. 35. 27 for Giroux, 17 for Peyton Pritchard. 34 for Brunson and 18 for Dosunmu. Dosunmu doesn't even have a high usage rate with the Bulls. And he goes over. Colin Sexton, we just talked about his numbers being like limited in the second half. That dude's not even playing 28 minutes a game. So production is there to be had against the Indiana Pacers. I think this is in a good spot for De'Aaron Fox. So 6 up, 6 down, over on Prizepicks. Round 1 done. Player props. We got Towns over points. Sexton over PRA. Fox over 34.5 PA. Or you can go under. The odds, the lines are pretty tight. Over Scotty Barnes, under Sabonis, and after looking at that information, I think we have enough to support the under on this. And then Giddey over. So 6 up, 6 down. That flew by. All right. Got a lot of comments. That's one of my favorite scenes in that movie, man. I forgot the actor's name that plays his trainer, or Apollo's old trainer. You see, he's not a machine. He's a man. That's the best Rocky of all time, man. Rocky 4. All right, let's see what we got here. I could talk Rocky all day long. Let's see. I'm gonna scroll back up. We missed a lot. Chat is active. Hit that like button on your way in. If you're checking this out for the first time, thank you for showing up. Appreciate you being here. All right. Hey, Matthew, we got to Giddy in that round. We like his PRA. I think a lot of his alt lines are also in play. His PRA is getting really good odds too. Really, really good odds. L. James, why do we like this bonus under today? We just covered that. The line keeps getting bumped. It was at 21.5. It's at 22.5. Then got bumped down to 22. So we're getting increased lines. His history against Indiana isn't the greatest. Projections are slightly to the under as well. And we are maybe factoring in that Pascal Siakam plays today. I don't see any news that says he's not playing today. But if he does play, that definitely helps the front court in Indiana. So those are just a few reasons we looked at for the under. And Cash Me Out is putting 350 on the under. So he's putting some cheddar on that one. Play of the day, Lauri Markkanen, PRA. All right. I'm going to leave it right there. And we're going to take a quick pause in between rounds and just look at the pick'ems table real quick. So I can get a quick plug in here for Odd Shopper, but at the same time, giving you some information, some free information. At the same time, plugging Odd Shopper, partner of the channel. So just going to take a quick look at the pick'ems table. We're going to check out Prizepicks only. Again, I always say it. If you play on Underdog, if you play on any of these other pick'em sites, let me know. We can look at these other plays outside of Prizepicks. It's always on the table. Just gotta let me know. All right, we're going to filter down to NBA. A lot of NFL props on the board. I say get those NFL plays, and you should have been getting these NFL plays in on Tuesday when they drop. Those are the best lines you're going to see. They will continue to get bumped up throughout the week. Lock that value in while you can. All right, so top play on the board. If you're interested, you got Nikola Vucevic under his rebound prop at 11.5. This is bringing in a 56% hit rate with a -127 true odds. -119 odds over on Prizepicks, 3% plus EV. Next play is an under on DeMar DeRozan's 9.5 rebounds and assists. I want to say this was at 9, and it got bumped up to 9.5. So we got an increase. Now we got an underplay. Xavier Tillman under his points. Tyus Jones under his points. You have X under his PRA, and then ending it with that Zach LaVine. I got a lot of bulls on this shit. Wowzers. So there you go. If you're looking for an extra pick to put into your slips, you don't care about research, you don't want to spend time doing it, Odd Shopper just did it for you. So there you go, right there. A few plays to consider. If you want to take it the extra step, you want to take a play and say, why is it going under? I'm going to go look at it on props.cash. Research it, double down, double check. Proofread it. All right, let's get back. So let's start this up with a new round of player props. We are going to clear our current board, and we're going to start this off. Jim says play of the day, Lauri Markkanen. Over 36 PRA. All right. Divine's liking Shea's points. Ooh, Jaren Jackson under 7.5 rebounds and assists. That is a sharp play. It's funny because he's a 5, kind of, and you would think that 7.5, like that dude's gonna crush it. Go back, go look at his. We'll look at his rebounds together, but he's really not crashing the glass like you would think he is. Him and Miles Turner are very similar in how they play, their style of play. They're capable of it, but man, very rarely are they like grabbing 10, 11 rebounds a game. We're liking Shea's points. Going, Divine is he's out to go 3 for 3 on his point props. If you missed the stream on Monday, he called Trae Young way over his points. He hit that in the first half. Then he helped me with one of my plays yesterday over on Fred VanVleet's 15.5, which was a little low. And now we're going right back. I like the mentality of going right back to the player that pisses everybody off. So 31.5 points is what it was on Tuesday before the taco. So there's 3 right there. L. James, he's looking at Chet, the under on his PRA. Sitting at 28.5. ROK, what's going on? What is going on? Welcome in. Barrett, rebounds and assists over. We can definitely add that to the board. Boy, what a new lease on life for RJ Barrett and Manuel Quickley, man. Like going to Toronto. I mean, what a win for them. Just get out of New York, have this opportunity to like really be 2 of the main pieces on a team, not complimentary. And you get to play with Scotty Barnes, and they're building a nice, they're definitely reloading over there in Toronto. They're not wasting any time. That shit didn't take very long at all. But yeah, RJ Barrett has been really good in Toronto so far. Michael Rivera, what's going on? Good morning to you. Lil Bud, what's up? Lou Dort, 1.5. 3-pointers made. All right, let's check this out. So it was such a good play, Lil Bud. They took it off the board, man. Such a good play. They were like, too good to let y'all have this one. Hit that like button on your way in if you're just checking this out. I got 50 viewers right now. Should have 50 likes. That's my simple math. All right, let's see. Ramo, what's going on, man? He said Vince Williams over 1.5 turnovers. Okay. All right. Turnovers for Vince Williams, undermanned in Memphis today. All right. Cutler. So what we'll do when we go over to props.cash is we'll take the 6 we have, and since we are looking at Shea and Chet already, we'll throw in Chet's 3-pointers. When we come back, we'll pick it back up with the next round of player props. So these are the 6 we're rolling with over in the props.cash. We got Shea, Chet, Barrett, Vince, Triple J, and Laurie. Let's go. Let's do it. Hope you guys are enjoying the stream. Hope you all are taking notes or retaining some of this information. Hopefully it does help you out. Hopefully it does help you out. Hopefully what it doesn't do is cloud your judgment, dissuade you or persuade you into taking plays that you don't want to take. No pressure, no peer pressure with this stream. Simply going over numbers, simply going over data. That's all we're doing. But in the in the process of doing all that, hopefully you see something and you're like, oh, I didn't think about that. Or, damn, that is a good play. So that's kind of like the overall goal with this. We're sitting on Chet Holmgren's bony ass. Let's kick it off with his PRA. Was it the under on his PRA? Chet looks like Gabe from The Office. I don't know if y'all watched The Office. It hasn't been on the air for quite some time, but every time I look at Chet, he looks like a young Abraham Lincoln. And then I was like, oh, he looks like Gabe from The Office. Checking out his last 5 games, he has not gone over this in 4 straight games. Some pretty tough matchups in there, right? But the toughest matchup, one of the toughest matchups was this Miami game, and he crushed that. But against Portland, he didn't get there. Orlando plays tough. LA, back-to-back games in LA. Those are not fun matchups. So he's had a rough stretch of games. I'm not trying to make excuses for him, just throwing it out there. Washington, he destroys. Brooklyn, he destroyed. Miami, he destroyed, surprisingly. Boston's tough matchup. Yeah, there's some games in there where he did. I mean, but there are a lot of mouths to feed in OKC. He is not the face of that franchise. What is he? Option 2? Option 3 sometimes? So minus 113 to the over and under. So you are literally getting a coin flip with these odds. If you want to know what that looks like, minus 113 is equal to 53%. So there's a 53% chance to each side. I know what you're thinking. 53 plus 53 doesn't make 100. I know. But it's just showing you that the books don't know what to do with this. The public doesn't know what to do with this play. It's coin flip. Utah's defense, we already know, is not good. We already covered that. His PRA is projected for 28.33. That is slightly under his 28.5 that we're getting over on Prizepicks. So he looks like he's projected for the hook. What else do y'all want to see with this? You want to see what centers have done versus the Utes? What is a Ute? Miles Turner does not go over. However, Davis crushes it. Jonte Parker goes over. DeAndre Jordan goes over. Jokic goes over. Brook Lopez goes under. Mo Bamba goes over his line. 30 for Jalen Duren. 47 for Bam. You do have quite a few check marks, but the check marks are next to names that are like future Hall of Famers. Anthony Davis, Nikola Jokic, like those are like, duh, they're over. You know, the X's are next to guys that like aren't high usage. Cornette, like, come on, man. Cornette, Brook Lopez. Porzingis, you know, that's a little surprising to not see him go over. But you got Tatum and Brown and Holiday and Derek Jack White. I mean, it's not it's not that surprising to see him go under sometimes, but that was a good matchup for him. So Chet has a good matchup. Is he going to go over? The books don't know. The public doesn't know. 4 straight games are going under. You would think that he's due for some positive regression in this game against the Utah Jazz. Head-to-head matchups. One game this season, he went under with 26. So there's a lot to like for the under here for Chet, but you can also look at this and say, oh, he's due. You can be that person and play the opposite side. So Chet Holmgren, I do like the under on that PRA. I think that we got a lot of supporting information. 3-pointers, though. So 5 straight games of going under. Some positive regression is due. If you look at his season, he has yet to go 6 games straight without getting 2 threes. He usually bounces back pretty quickly after a dud game, like 3 games in a row here, 3 games in a row here. This is his longest stretch without hitting that prop. His season average tells you that he is due for some regression or for some positive regression here. So 1.5 3-pointers made, probably like that one out of all his props if you're playing the over, because this one is more promising. Despite not going over his PRA in that game against the Jazz, he did go over 3-pointers made. So there you go. There's Chetty Chet. All right. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander points set to 31.5. But back-to-back games versus, one game this season versus the Jazz, he did not go over this line. He may have went over his line that game, but not this game, not this line. Average looks a lot better due to those 2 monster performances, but last 2 games, not so good. Looking at his last 10, 60% hit rate, 50% hit rate. You have 1 game in there of 37 points, sandwiched in between 2 games where he didn't go over to each side there. Last 5 games looking real rough. Again, we talk about this stretch of games here. It's tough back-to-back right here. Matchup with Utah, we talked about it being a prime spot. He is projected for 30 points today. So we're getting roughly coin flip odds on his line here. -115, -111. You're getting projections that are right there at 30, so they're close enough to the over where you can make a case for the over. I think the question you have to ask yourself is, well, 2 questions. Number 1, is this the start of a cold streak for Shai? He really doesn't have cold streaks. If you look at his season average, he doesn't string together a shit ton of games without going over. The most he has played without going over his point prop is 3 games without going over. So we got this stretch of games here. You have these 2, you have these 2, you have these 2, and you have these 2. So I don't think this is the start of a cold streak. I think he just got a bad matchup. And now he gets a good one. And now he gets an opportunity to bounce back. So despite the odds not being more in favor of the over, I think we can make a very, very solid case to taking the over on his points today versus the Jazz. So that one's a little scary. But sometimes you go right back to the player who messed up your slips. All right, let's look at RJ Barrett. No. Let's look at Lauri Markkanen. Jim's lock of the day. Lauri Markkanen. PRA. Play of the day. I don't even know what I'm talking about. I can't even remember my own shit. Play of the day, lock of the day. Play of the day is better. I like that. Okay. Season average, 34.7. Breaking it down to his last 10 games, he's averaging 35. So there is no playing over his head. He's very consistent. Season average matches his last 10. Playing a little putting up more points and rebounds and assists over his last 5 than he's done all season. So it may be due for a little bit of regression to that average, but not too much. I mean, he's not like, this is not some freaking Linsanity type of stretch here. But this is what he's done over his last 5 games. Matchups with the OKC Thunder. No games this season to speak of, but man, he has that 50+ upside. Came pretty close in this game, just didn't get it done. Taking a look at Lauri Markkanen's matchup with the Thunder here. These are your 3 categories. Bottom of the league in rebounds allowed. A little worse than league average in assists allowed, and right at the league average in points allowed per game. He is projected for 33.47 PRA today, so that is slightly under. That is slightly under his line. However, let's take those odds. Let's convert them. Minus 125 gives you a 55.56% chance to go over. Minus 105 to the under is telling you there's a 51% chance to go under. So this is how people are playing this. There are people out there playing the under on this one. And then there are more people out there playing the over on his PRA. So if you want to get it like a little different, you want to take a look at his home games. Last 10 at home, he's averaging 36. Last 5 at home, he's averaging 40. Slightly up from those averages. All right. I like this one. Unless his shot's not falling, unless he's not making shots, he's going to be involved. He's going to be active. He is going to do a lot of everything today. All right, let's take a look at Vince Williams. We had the turnover prop for Vince, and then we'll look at RJ Barrett, and then we'll look at Jaren Jackson Jr. Turnover props are like pretty quick. Last 5 games, Vince Williams has turned the ball over quite a bit. He has 10 turnovers in 5 games. He's averaging 7, 8, 9, 7, 10, 11. 11 and 5. So he's averaging 2.2 over his last 5. Looks a lot different than his last 10. I'm assuming that's because of his usage increasing with all the injuries in Memphis. So we talk about this all the time. High usage players, I don't care if they're superstars or not, but if the ball's in your hands more, if you're on the court more, that increases the opportunity for turnovers to cause them. So you can look at his first 5 games in his 10-game log. His minutes are well under 30 in every single one of these games. And then the last 5 games, he's averaging, just in those 5 games, he's averaging like, what is that? 33, 34 minutes in the last 5 games. I don't think it's a coincidence that his turnovers have also increased. So as long as his minutes are up and as long as he's on the floor, like who the hell else are the Grizzlies playing? They're down. Turnovers are going to be a part of his game. So I like that one. Over on his turnovers at 1.5. I think that's a pretty solid play. Let's look at this Jaren Jackson rebounds and assists sitting at 7.5 over on Prizepicks. You're getting minus 125 to the over, and then a little juice to the under. So like 51% to that under, like that 55% to the over. So a lot of people are liking the over on this one. He does have this upside 16, 10, 11. But he also can do this. 4 straight games against Minnesota where he has gone under. 2 of those games are relevant because they happened this season, averaging 5 rebounds and assists in those 2 games versus the Minnesota Timberwolves. On the season, Jaren Jackson is averaging 5.7 rebounds a game. Matchup with the Wolves doesn't really get any worse than this, to be honest with you. His projections do grade out very well. They got him projected for 10.27 rebounds and assists. No. 10? No. I would be willing to roll the dice on the under on this one. I would be more willing to roll the dice on like the over on his fantasy score or his PRA. He is their best offensive player right now. So I would assume that he shoots a lot and he tries to score. Block shots and steals with him are always in play. So maybe look to his fantasy score, but I do support the under on his 7.5 rebounds and assists. It does feel really low. I know what it feels like. Like he could get that. I know it's like one of those types of plays, but the matchup doesn't look all that great. Look, Isaiah Stewart. I'm not comparing Isaiah Stewart to Jaren Jackson Jr. Isaiah Stewart had a 7.5 rebound assist line against the Wolves yesterday. He finished with 6 on his way to a very, very good game. Over on his PRA, over on his fantasy points. They are not the same player, I know. But what I'm getting at is the matchup is tough. It's tough. So, Jaren Jackson, there will be better days for him. All right, last play in this group is RJ Barrett. Where is he? Oh, look at me. Old habits die hard. He's not in New York anymore. What are we looking at for RJ Barrett? Rebounds and assists. All right. I need a new chair. I need one of those fancy gaming chairs. This raggedy old storage room chair I have here. It's time to upgrade. So at 9.5, RJ Barrett was getting incredible odds to the over. Really what we want to focus on here is this last. How many games has he played with the Raptors? 10? Little less than 10. But all his Raptor games are in this 10-game log. Compare that to the season, right? So we can kind of see the difference in New York, Toronto. Big difference. His usage is different. So now it's bumped up to 10. So now you want to play the bump on that? You can. But, you know, that 0.5 is everything. Sometimes it is the only thing keeping you from cashing. 0.5, slim margin. 4 out of his last 10 games, he's gone over this. In the games he doesn't go over, he is hooking at 9 or hooking at 10, pushing at 10 and coming short at 9. But back-to-back games, 13 and 11. These are tough matchups, man. Boston and Miami. So this matchup with Chicago is better. Damn, he hasn't. No way. He hasn't played the Bulls since 2022. That's what? Was he sick the other games? Chicago's defense giving up tons of rebounds, tons of assists per game. Number 23 in the league in both categories. Not good for them. It is great for RJ Barrett. Projected to go over rebound prop, projected to go over assist prop, projected to get you 10.43 RA. So he's projected for the hook on this one. His lines were coming in, his odds were coming in so heavy at minus 138. That, when I see that, that is not him getting on a 9.5 prop. Minus 138 is not 10. That's close. That's like 11. So it looks like that's how I read it. Anything that heavy, it's like a 1.5 higher than what the line is given. So even at 10, I think this is playable because I think 11 is actually in play for him, but you do get the push there. So it kind of gives you something to think about, but good matchup. Good start in Toronto and good projections for RJ Barrett. So rounding it out, that's what we got going on. So let's take a last look at these plays. We like the over on Lauri Markkanen. We like the under on Jaren Jackson. We like the under on, I'm just kidding, like the over on Shai Gilgeous-Alexander in a bounce back spot. Put a big fat asterisk next to this because bounce back spot for Shai. We'll talk about this tomorrow. This might be a really good example of going right back to a player who burned you. Get out of our feelings, go right back to him. If he hits, we might be on to something. And if he hits, Divine is 3 for 3 on his point props this week. Chetty Chet under his PRA, RJ over, Vince Williams over. That's what we got so far. All right. Last look at the board here. We'll clear it out. All right, let's do one more round. Let's do one more round of plays. We got Chet over his threes, Cutler, so we're good there. We got we talked about Jaren Jackson. All right, let's kick this off. Michael Rivera, Jalen Williams, points and assists. Ant-Man over 0.5 blocks. Hit that like button on your way in. If you're just joining the chat, we got one more round of player props to go. Typically do 3 rounds of 6 picks over on Prizepicks. We cover 18 different props that way, but when we go over to props.cash, we typically cover multiple plays for one player. So that usually ends up being roughly, anywhere between 25 to 30 player props we're covering in one stream. It takes me an hour and a half to do it, but it gets done and we're having fun. So we're doing a lot. Ant-Man. Man, I wish I would have picked. I did put him in a flex. Look at me. I had literally put Ant-Man. I played him in a flex. In hindsight, I wish I would have played his rebounds and assists. Even at the bump, it got bumped up to 10, I think, in a power play because he finished with 13. It didn't even, wasn't even a sweat. Wasn't even a sweat. All right, we got Anthony Edwards over blocks. Matthew Parker says Giddey is a go. Hey man, that case is closed now. Maybe we see Giddy like, oof. Maybe he gets back to, maybe this is how Giddy got his groove back. Maybe we see a different Giddy tonight. Maybe he's been playing with like some weight on his shoulders. Pool under 1.5 turnovers. Interesting. Only interesting because I don't typically look at turnover props. Big Icy likes the Murray 0.5 blocks. I saw that yesterday when the Kings were the first team to get put on the board. That was really all you had to look at. So you looked at, I got really, really familiar with a lot of those props. They were the only ones on the board for like an hour. Oh, Cutler over Jordan Poole. Okay. Says Michael says Jalen Williams hits on his points, rebounds 4 out of last 5. Let's see what else. Woo! Let's see. I see DiVincenzo, Dunn, biggest opposition. What's going on? Welcome in. Let's see. Said, what's going on, man? John Collins should eat. He should eat. Appreciate the super thanks. Appreciate that, Steven. The what? What is a Ute? Jim, I watch my cousin Vinny once a week, man. I got like my queue. I gotta just roll a video. I just roll the movies out. Nacho Libre, my cousin Vinny. It's just one of those things I put on in the background as I'm doing stuff in the house. But I think I know that movie inside and out, man. Let's see what else. All right. Hey Seuss, you calling Sabonis triple double? We can't play triple doubles on Prizepicks though. Where do you play triple doubles? Like sports books? Does Underdog have triple doubles? All right, we got Keegan in there. I'm seeing a lot of Chris Dunn. So what we're gonna do is this. The what? And then when we go over to props.cash, we'll look at everything at once. Dante DiVincenzo, he's not on the board from what I'm seeing. Yeah. Are the Knicks on the board? They are. Just Brunson, though. So we looked up Barrett. Sleeper. Jesus says the triple double prop is on Sleeper. Okay. What are the rates? Higher for the over or lower for the higher for the over or under on that one? What's going to get you paid the most? Yeah. I think honestly, I know this is like gross, but Harrison Barnes. You don't have to like it, but I'm just saying his lines never get bumped. Nobody cares about him. And he quietly, in a lot of games, just does his thing, unassuming, is Harrison Barnes. Let's put his points on there. We'll take a look at all his props when we go over to props.cash. We got Barnes, Dunn, Murray, Edwards, and Williams so far. True Allah, what's going in, man? What's going in? What's going on? Welcome in. Welcome in. Toy Story, he says, did we cover Luke over PR? Kennard? We did not. We can. Jesus says, Sabonis looks like he's, no, Siri. Sabonis looks like he's trying to get in the All-Star game. Sleeper for the triple-double. I cashed last night with it, and Jalen Duren double-double for the Timberwolves. Okay. Yeah, man. Like a lot of Pistons went over yesterday against the Wolves. A lot of Pistons went over. Like all the Pistons went over against the Wolves. Big Icy Ant-Man, 4.5 assists. So we're already looking at Anthony Edwards block shots. We'll take a look at his assist as well. So we got enough here. Last round of player props. We're headed over. We're headed back to props.cash for the final round. And let's do it. We're going to kick things off with let's start it off with Anthony Edwards in Minnesota. And let's look at his we'll go Anthony Edwards, we'll go Luke Kennard. Back-to-back games of 6 or more assists for Anthony Edwards. 5 out of his last 10, 3 out of his last 5. Really strong numbers for him. Matchup is there. Matchup is there. Minus 125 to the over, minus 102 to the under. All right, so minus 102 to the under, 50% chance, 50% going under, and then minus 125. That's a 56%, 55.5. So again, we've been using the Odds Shopper odds converter to just kind of shed some light on some of these odds so that you understand. Maybe you already understand this. So this is not for you. You're already past this point. But in the event you look at odds and you're like, minus 125 means what? Who gives a shit? Well, convert it to a percentage, and if somebody told you that if you walked outside your house between the hours of 2 and 3, there was an 80% chance of somebody giving you $1,000, you'd probably walk outside your house between the hours of 2 and 3. If they told you there's an 80% chance of somebody throwing a rock in your eye, you'd be like, nah, I'm gonna skip that. Same thing. There's a 56% chance that this one does go over this line for Anthony Edwards. I don't know why my examples have to be so violent, but I feel like the violent examples like just stick. Looking at his position and his projections today, 5.54 assists. Looks good, man. Anthony Edwards looks great. I like the fact that these starters do get left in the game when the game is pretty much in hand. Anthony Edwards is in the game in the fourth quarter with 20-point leads, you know? That's good. I like that. Looking at his blocks. More juice to the under than the over. We can see that so blocks, we know blocks are not a given thing. Blocks are very difficult to project. But he is averaging 0.8 over his last 10, 0.2 over his last 5. He only has one block in his last 5 games. Head-to-head matchups with the Grizzlies. One in the last 2 games. These 2 games were played this season. These 4 games were played last season. He blocks the shit out of the Memphis Grizzlies. Oh, man, look at this. 6 blocks in those 4 games. So, yeah. There's his blocks. Let's take a look at Luke Kennard, who is basically the damn point guard now, right? Luke Kennard, this is who they're running out at point because the injuries. $15.5 points and rebounds for Luke Kennard. 3 out of his last 5. Let's pay attention to the last 5 games. This does hold more relevance to us because of all the injuries. So this is kind of what we're looking at today. This, this type of production just based off the injury report. 16 in those games. He's averaging 16 in those games. Matchup, we already know the matchup does not get any worse than this for the Grizzlies. He is projected for 16.56. It is very possible for teams to get the shit kicked out of them, but certain players to go over their lines. They're not going to go out there and score 0 points, They're professionals. So I'm not afraid of taking players in a game that looks like it's going to be lopsided, because especially in situations like this, like who the hell else is running out there? What do you have to lose? Like, are you going to pull your starter for who? For what? Why? Leave him out there. I think he gets his run today. I think there's a good chance he goes over regardless of the final score for Luke Kennard. Volume is key here. Look at this. Look at these minutes. Great minutes. Come on. There is a lot to like here for Luke Kennard. So points and rebounds, I actually like it. I actually like the over on that one. All right, we're done with Minnesota, Memphis. Who else was there? I got to go back and look. Try to remember all these. All right, let's do Chris Dunn and Jalen Williams, because those guys are in the same game. Chris Dunn, interesting. We're gonna look at all his player props. He didn't have very many on the board over on Prizepicks. I think he had like 4 or 5. He didn't have a whole lot. So let's just start with his points. We're gonna run through this together. Heavy juice to the under here. 5.5 points. He's only gone over that in 2 out of his last 5 games. His head-to-head matchups with the OKC Thunder been pretty good. But only 1 game played this season where he only scored 4 points. I'm just curious. Minutes. Damn. A lot of production for limited minutes. Okay. So he does play him pretty well. These are his projections. He is projected for 4 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists, under 1 3-pointers made, 11 PRA, 1 block, 1 steal, closer to 2. If that's on Prizepicks, that might be something to look at there. Oh, we had Jordan Poole to look at also. We had Jordan Poole turnovers to look at also. We'll get there. All right, rebounds for Chris Dunn. Let's just run through these. Odds are not great. History versus the Thunder is a lot better than you would think. And these are his rebounds over his last 10 games. Assists, I think, are at 5.5. They're at 5. So these got bumped up. Really good odds on his assist. At -140, I would still play this at 5. I think it's still in play at 5. It's not going to be my first assist prop to go to, but if you're looking for an extra play to put in your slip, this one is still a pretty good one at 5. He is averaging 5 over his last 10, 6 over his last 5. He's averaging 5 in head-to-head matchups with the Thunder. And then PRA. PRA is getting really good juice to the over -128. Last 10 games don't look all that good, to be honest with you, but the odds are there. He does have this upside. Over his last 10, Chris Dunn has played roughly 21 minutes in every game with upside of 26. I wouldn't go too heavy on Chris Dunn. I think his assists are in play. I think his PRA is slightly riskier because he has to score, and his points aren't projected very well today. But that would be my second play out of what we just looked at. Jalen Williams. Let's start with his PRA first. We're already on PRA. Last 10 games look fantastic. 70% hit rate. He's averaging 30.6 in those 10 games, 33 over his last 5. Anytime a player game log looks this good, I want to see if we can make it look worse. Because if we go through all the filters and it looks good in every filter, it's like, that's legit. Sometimes a player can just play very well at home and you miss a lot of information. Those game logs are a little deceiving, but his production is great at home. It's great on the road. It's his last, 6 games on the road have been great. So he's not just a good player at home. He's a good player on the road as well. That's his PRA right there. If I want to look at his projections today, his PRA, he's projected for 33 PRA. He's projected for 27 PA. He is projected for 27 PR. He is projected for 11.23 RA. He's projected for a lot of green today. Let's look at his points. Coin flip on the odds at 19.5, unless this is at 18.5 on Prizepicks or 19. If it's below 19.5 on Prizepicks, that's a really good prop to take, considering the over on that one. But he's averaging 20 and 21 in the last 5 and 10 games. Head-to-head matchup with the Jazz. 1 game this season, only scored 15 points. Is it possible for him and SGA to go over their point prop? I always think about that. And I always shy away from taking players from the same team because I just want to root for one of those guys. Sometimes I forget that these guys are going to score 120 points. There's room for multiple players on that team to score 20 plus, Yeah, if one player scores, it means the other one's not. I get that. But it's not like SGA is going to score all 120 points by himself. So points look good. His PRA looks better. I think the main prop we wanted to look at was PA. -120 to the over, -106 to the under, 70% over his last 10 and 80 over his last 5. We know the matchup is there, and we know we're getting good projections at 27. So this is going well over that 24.5 points and assist line that we're seeing here on Prizepicks and props.cash. All right, let's take a look at this Jordan Poole turnover prop. I don't want to forget this one. Believe it was over. Turnovers for Jordan Poole. -127 to the over, -108 to the under. 4 straight games of actually going under this. This matchup with New York is not nice. He's averaging 3.5 turnovers in 2 games played in New York or against New York this year. This season. This game is in New York. Jordan Poole on the road. over his last 10, averaging 1.8. So while his 5 and 10 game logs don't look all that bad in terms of him turning the ball over a lot, the matchup with New York is as gross as it gets. He's projected for 1.94 turnovers today. That's closer to, that's basically 2. Round up, it's 2. I like that one. If you want to pick on Jordan Poole, turnovers are good, a good start there. Keegan Murray and Harrison Barnes will close it out on the Sacramento Kings. Now, someone put in the chat that Barnes and Herter are sleepers today, but nobody had like an actual prop. So I wanted to look at this. I just wanted to show you his points. So there are a couple things to keep in mind here. Number one, the matchup is awesome for everyone on the Kings. Number two, like I mentioned, very quietly, Harrison Barnes just does his thing. I know the production is kind of spread out. We're not seeing, 8 games straight. He's 50% over his last 10. Yeah, 20% over his last 5. But he needs 10 points today. I'm not saying you have to play it. I'm not saying it's the best play on the board. Just saying, look at it. We know Indiana's defense gives up a ton of points. He is projected for just 8 points today. Odds are there. I know his points say 5.5 on props.cash, but in the event on Prizepicks, this is at 4.5, and it is 4.5 over on Prizepicks. This is a really good first half prop, man. If you have reservations, don't play it. Definitely do not put it in a power play. But this is like a very quiet prop to consider. Harrison Barnes is playing 14 minutes in the first half. He's averaging 5 shots. Shots have gone up. But okay, maybe you're thinking, oh, that's a fluke. Well, look at this over here. 6, 2, 4, 7, 8. He's putting up shots. He's making 2 of them. I'm assuming they're 3s. He's taken 4 3s. So if he's taken 5 shots a game in the first half, 4 of them are 3s. 3 of them are 3s. He's making 1 of them. There's 3 points, and he shoots 2 free throws. There's your 5. I'm just saying, you want to build out a first half slip, or you want to throw another slip in, another play in there. You don't like his full game points. I think his first half points are in play. Not so much as PRA. Yeah, I think he's a sleeper today. Keegan Murray blocks. So this one has been on the board for a while. I don't know why we're not getting odds on this one. Keegan Murray has recorded a block in 5 straight games. Keegan Murray is also projected for 0.44 blocks today. Oh, I know why. Hold on. My bad. I'm like, we should have some damn odds here. Minus 125 to the over, minus 109 to the under. These are favorable odds towards the over. This one is in play. I'm not saying it's a guarantee or a lock, but it looks good. As do his steals and blocks. I don't think that's on Prizepicks though. So blocks, you'll have to play just as blocks if you want to go with any of his defensive stats. So there you go. Let's confirm these. We like the over Jalen Williams. We like the over Anthony Edwards, over Keegan Murray. Chris Dunn, you can stay away from this one because it got bumped up to 5, but we saw what he's done and the odds are in favor of the over. Harrison Barnes is a sleeper. I like his first. I do like his first half points. And then Luke Kennard is another sleeper, kind of 15.5 rebounds and assists. I think he gets his playing time even if they get blown out. So there you go. Right there on the board. That is round 3 of player props. We covered quite a bit in today's stream. All right. So I got 2 plays of the day from y'all, but let's get it in the chat. Just give me your play of the day. I got Giddey PRA 20.5. I got Laurie 36.5 PRA. That's what I got so far. Who are your plays of the day? Infamous Mel, what's going on? Welcome in. Appreciate you being here. Hartenstein, over turnovers. All right. Triple J, under his 7.5 rebounds and assists. All right. All right. Let me just scroll back up through the chat. Maybe I'll take one or two more. We'll look at that. We'll look at his turnovers. Yeah, man. Yeah, especially against the Knicks. He's fumbling the ball for sure. Jesus, what's going on? He said, I asked about Scotty Barnes PRA the other day against the Celtics. I was tempted to take the over, but then you showed me the stats and saved me $20, man. I'm glad. Glad, man. Good stuff. Good stuff. Juan, we covered Scotty Barnes. We like the over on his 3-pointers made for sure. Yes, we like that one. ROK, the plays that you're seeing like on the screen, these are plays that we're covering. I'm just taking your questions and putting them in the Prizepicks board here. I'm not actually playing these as a slip, but that's what I'm trying to get everybody's play of the day. And then taking those plays of the day, and then I'll put those in the Discord, and then everybody can see what everybody's on. But we also do share slips in the Discord. So like Jim shares a lot of his slips in the Discord. A lot of those plays are taken from the stream. A lot of those plays are just taken from, our own research. But like these plays, these are just randomly selected plays that I'm taking, out of the chat to look up. So there is like no rhyme or reason behind this. I will show you this really quick because I put this in late last night. You can see the timestamp, 1:44 a.m. So really attacking this New York and Toronto game. Barrett over threes, Barnes over threes, quickly over rebounds. Getting Kobe White's rebounds under 5 is good. I already took the over on Anthony Edwards' assist. And then we talked about Luke Kennard points and rebounds. Given the fact that he is playing a lot of point, I like his assist today too. So yeah, a lot of these names y'all mentioned today are in good spots to hit. You could take multiple props from these guys. Scotty Barnes, Robert, what's going on? Scotty Barnes. Yeah, he finished with 20 points yesterday. Didn't have the greatest game. Definitely had a really slow first half. Giddey rebounds. Jaren Jackson under points and rebounds. You like that as your play of the day? Biggest opposition? I'm going to put that down. All right, I'm going to clear this out. All right, let's look up Giddey's rebounds. Giddey's a super popular play today. I think a lot of the OKC Thunder are going to be very, very popular today. I got his rebounds at 5.5. Minus 120 on the over, 106 on the under. Back-to-back games of going under, hooked it, then went under that. Outside of those 2 games, over his last 10 games, he is averaging 6.5 and still managed to bring in an average of 7 rebounds in the last 5 games, despite the 2 tough games against the LA Lakers and Clips. Head-to-head matchup with the Jazz looked very good. 1 game this season, 10 rebounds. Jazz giving up the 7th fewest rebounds in the league per game. But Giddey is projected for 6.26 rebounds. So some pretty good numbers. Big Icy said Sexton over first half PRA. Believe that was at 13.5. Infamous Mill said, well, shoot, Hartenstein is not pulling up. Let me refresh the page here. Jesus says, he has a $15 2-pick with Sexton and Quickly. All right. Also says 9.5 points over Sexton first half, Quickly over 4.5 points in the first quarter. Woo. There's Hartenstein. So turnovers are getting heavier juice to the under on this one. I'm assuming it's just because Washington is the matchup, and Washington just doesn't turn teams. Oh, wait, is this correct? .4 blocks a game and 8 steals per game. This isn't what they're allowing per game. 8 steals in a game is a lot. That cannot be what that defense is causing every game. I might be reading that incorrectly, but Heavier juice to the under on this one. Although he has gone over this in 3 out of his last 5, 4 out of his last 5, 6 out of his last 10. I got it. He's projected for 1.53 turnovers today. I have some heavy ass juice to the under though for Hartenstein's turnovers. How is he turning the ball over? Is it offensive charges? Is it like him just fumbling? Is it like Rudy Gobert turnovers where he is just getting the ball in the paint and like fumbling it out of bounds? A lot of these centers get turnovers like through offensive fouls, like they charge and they'll call the turnover. So that is an easy way to get the over on the center's turnovers. And a lot of these dudes don't have good hands. So like you try to bounce pass in the paint, or you just got to make it easy on the centers. You can't be getting flashy with the passes. They'll just like kick it out of bounds and shit. This is Hartenstein's turnovers. Rob Wright says Sexton is a lock. All right, Divine going on record putting Shea in there over his 31.5 points as his play of the day. All right, this is fun. We got quite a few plays in there, quite a few plays of the day. Maybe at some point I'll be able to hire a producer and then have that person just go through the chat and create a cheat sheet and do all the work for me. But until then, we'll do plays of the day, and we'll keep taking your player props and try to turn them into a cheat sheet of sorts, and that way you can kind of see what everybody else is on. Always do your own research though. It makes you a better just makes you a better player, but also can never be you can never be too sure. Research is part of the process. But if you made it this far, I appreciate you being here. Super long stream. It's a live stream. They're going to be long. I do short videos. I cut all that stuff out. In the live stream, we cut loose. So hope you enjoyed it. Had fun today digging into these player props with you all. Covered a lot in today's video. I'll be sharing definitely one more slip, maybe 2 more slips in the Discord with some breakdowns as well. Hit that like button on your way out if you haven't done so. Appreciate all the engagement in the chat. Appreciate you all being here. If you're watching this on a replay, big salute to you. Big salute to you watching it on a replay. Try to do another player prop video tonight going into Friday's slates. As long as the props are up, long as there's something to dig into, shouldn't be a problem. But for sure, live stream Friday morning at 9 a.m. I will see everybody on that live stream. I hope all of your player props respect the damn coin. I hope you profit well. And until tomorrow's NBA Prizepicks player props live stream, Chavez is out.